Hello, fabulous friends. Welcome back to our channel, Design Your Desired Future. I apologize for my voice. I have a bit of a sinus infection, so I have very little voice going on. But this was a very important article that I was reading today, and I knew that I needed to get this out to you as soon as possible. So this came from 10 Tampa Bay 8. And really, it's just about the Better Business Bureau and FBI warn of rise in work from home employment scams. So, anytime things change, there's definitely going to be that um, that sector where there's going to be people who are going to try to take advantage of this. And it even says here that employment scams have been on the rise since the start of the pandemic as bad actors leech off people facing unemployment or looking for work from home jobs. So this just means it's very important to be careful as you're looking for new work from home jobs. The employment scams, as you can imagine, have been on the rise since the pandemic because people are looking for they're looking for actual positions that they could do working from home. People want to do what's right by working from home, and then all of a sudden they get people who are trying to criminals who are after their money, their identity, and that is basically what history has shown from these work from home scams. I actually did get approached by somebody from a job board that it just felt wrong when I was in conversations with them. You don't offer somebody a six-figure income when they're not even doing a face-to-face interview or having to go up through the normal process of interviews. And then all of a sudden they want to send you equipment, but they need your checking account. It was very obvious what was going on. And so I stayed in contact with this person for as long as I could before I knew that it was getting to the point where they were going to try to gather my personal information. And that's when I ended the conversation. But I recognized early on that that was what was going on, so I stayed in the conversation just so that I could share that with people if need be. Pardon me for my voice. It's just I do have that sinus infection going on. So it's just really this article is just about warning you of the dangers that there are from home scams out there. They are appearing on job boards. Mine appeared on a job board. The job boards do their best to vet the companies that are coming through, but really the biggest thing is get the company's website. You can tell really quickly that it's a fake website when you're looking at the website, and even some pages when you go into other different tabs, it will actually show you lorem ipsum where they haven't even gone into making the attempt to change the fake wording that is there. So very quickly you'll be able to see that it's not realistic and what they're offering is not there. They do, however, do show actual websites and things like that. So just make sure you're doing your due diligence when you're looking to work for a company, work from home. I personally have a company that I do work from home. I run a business full time out of my home. I'm a publisher, and so I publish my own books. And so I have that I run out of my home, as well as a life coach, which, as you can tell, this is that channel that works with people. I've mentioned my life coaching business as well. So I do have that, as well as, I work from home with a company that just adds extra income that I can have coming in every month that I know is stable income, because when you're working from home as a business owner, sometimes the income isn't as stable as it would be as if you're working for an employer. The company that I work for is formerly known as Lionbridge, and they are now known as TELUS. So USA, TELUS US. So there are different companies that you can work for that have been vetted by actual employees. And I think that that's really important if you're looking for a company to work from home, even if it's a part-time employment. Do your due diligence and get to know those companies. The average victim loss is about $1,000 plus valuable time and performing work that they were never paid for. So it's very important that you want to look into these companies and know that you're actually going to get paid for what you're doing, and know that they're legitimate companies. A lot of companies will actually do training programs on site and then put you to work working from home. There are also companies that have been listed on top 10 or top 20 or even top 100 companies that have been work from home companies. So finding them on those lists mean that they have been pretty well vetted by those companies. But again, do your own due diligence when you're looking into these companies. It's really important. So I'm just going to read through some highlights, and I will link up this article so you can read it yourself. But it shows here the biggest way scammers take advantage of consumers is by playing off their emotions. So whenever there's emotions at bay, consumers are confused or unsure about something. Scammers see this as an opportunity. This is a quote from Brian Oglesby, the Director of Public Relations for Business Bureau of West Florida. We all know the pandemic has taken a toll on us, so it definitely is something that you want to be aware of. There's very little emotion in business, so that can also be, when they start pulling on those kind of strings, red flags might want to go up. So then Keith Gibbons specializes in cyber crimes as a supervisory agent with the Tampa division of the FBI. And the quote here says, first thing that I would recommend people to do is an independent search of the company. Don't just take their website that they give you, but also do an independent search of the company. That's very good advice. And I would say that there are tons of places that you can go and do an independent search of that company. Another thing individuals can do is check with their state. Any company that is legitimately operating in the state has to file documentation with the state to indicate that it's a legitimate business. So before you give any kind of information, personal information, you want to do your due diligence and look into the company. And any company that doesn't want to give you time to do that should raise red flags because there's something going on. It's a partnership between a company and the employee, the employer and the employee. So they're going to want you to know that you've done your due diligence with the company. I would highly recommend when you're looking at a company to do the research on that company before you even engage in a conversation with them. So that way you know. And if you do see that the company is not legitimate, definitely with most of those job sites, you can flag it for further investigation and the job site can look into that as well. It is listing on their company and they don't want you to feel that you're finding scams at their actual site. So it's a partnership there as well. The Better Business Bureau recommends checking for legitimate phone numbers and addresses, and that is right here. Looking for quality content. That a site only uses stock photos is a red flag. Again, it's hard to tell those stock photos because I've seen news reports where legitimate companies will use stock photos. So that's hard to tell, but just do your due diligence, look into them, and check the company through the Better Business Bureau to see if anybody has posted any complaints. Also, on those job boards, there are areas where people will post complaints to the job board, especially Indeed, they'll ask employees to rate their company. So definitely look into that as well. So there are ways that you can go ahead and avoid becoming a victim of a scam. But it does say anyone and everyone can be a victim of a scam. It's not a specific person or specific age group. Anyone out there can become victimized. So that being said, it's just good that we all look into it and we all do our due diligence. I will go ahead and link up this article in the video description box so you can read it because my voice is all over the place and you may want to look at it a little bit more as far as looking at their information. And it doesn't look like there's any kind of there is a report. You can report it on the Better Business Bureau on the scam tracker site. So if you are, I mentioned that you can report it on the websites, the job board websites, but you can also look here. It says you can report it on the Better Business Bureau tracker site as well. There are new companies that open up all day, every day. There are legitimate companies that are just starting out and it might seem that there's something going on, you just got to do your due diligence and research, and before giving any personal information. This is a really good note to be out there that, there are things going on in the world, and people unfortunately still take advantage of hard times. And so helping each other, making sure that we're letting everybody be aware, which is why I jumped on with very little voice to bring this to your attention. It's just important to be there and know that, there are things like this going on out there in the world, and we want to make sure that we are helping each other to avoid them as well. So thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Everyday Work From Home Mom. Again, I'm sorry about my voice. I should be better in the next couple of days. But so yeah, I do apologize for my voice. It'll come back. It always does. And thanks so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe, join our community, join our family, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you soon. Bye.